Dean, there is nothing worse than finding out your best friend sold a figure that you've been after for like 2 years. Nothing worse.
I haven't sold anything lately.
Awkward. Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
And I'm TC.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. This weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right.
Dean, we have a little bit of kind words we wanted to say about our sponsor. Did you want to
Oh
lead
yeah,
us
Water
off?
Scrapyard, a sweet angel. They make this show possible, and if you're looking to buy something, you should hit them up.
Absolutely. Let's get into the world's favorite segment. Dean, we'll let you kick this off solo because we're going to butcher it if we all try to scream it at once.
Yeah, it's gonna be new this week. What'd you get new this
Nailed
week?
it. Dean
Thank you.
nailed it by himself.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good at it. I haven't gotten anything. I'm waiting for shit in the mail. Big Bad Toy Store took forever to mail my stuff. Does anyone else have this issue? Have you, TC? Do you
It
buy
takes like
something?
a few days usually for me.
God, I don't know if I picked like a really bad day to like start the process, but like it wasn't even showing up in my processing, and I was like, oh my god, my dog is misbehaving, Kevin.
Did you cheap
And,
out on shipping?
No, I mean I did the flat rate, but
So yes.
is there a better one? I don't know. I just
Yeah, they have all kinds of shipping options up to like overnight.
Oh well, I wasn't in that big a rush, but shit, maybe I'll switch it up because it took forever. I think it was like literally almost an entire week.
My God.
Yeah, to finally I got a shipping notification. So I was like, because I emailed them like 4 days later, and they were like, "Oh, everything's like it takes a long time.
They're probably working with
Everyone's
like
working."
reduced staff or something.
Yeah, which is fine, but I was like, it's not even showing up in my processing menu.
Yeah.
Or that it even shipped. Like I have no idea if this even went through or what's going on. And they were like, "No, we got it." Oh my god, my dog is driving me crazy. Hold on.
TC, did you get
What about you
anything?
guys?
Yeah, actually, I'll piggyback off that. I got some from Big Bad Toy Store, paid the cheap shipping, and it came in like 3 days.
What?
I ended up getting a Hall of Armor. So
Nice.
I've got marks 4 through 7 by Hot Toys,
Uh-huh.
and I used to like hate the idea of getting any Hall of Armor because I'm like, gosh, it's $125.
Yeah.
It's a piece of plastic. It's got lighting, but you either got to hardwire it or you have to push the buttons on and off. It doesn't just stay on.
Yeah.
But man, like when I got one of them and then two of them, it just kept getting a little better, and I just added my third. It just looks really sleek when you put them all together, and it's one of those things where as you get more of them, the aesthetic it improves a lot. So
How many you have now?
I've got 3, so
Oh, nice.
I need one more. I'm just gonna do 4 through 7. I don't have Iron Man 2, or Mark 2 or Mark 3
Oh, okay.
in diecast, so I'm just gonna go with those 4.
Do you
But
have the workbench, Tony? With the
no,
center?
I
Oh,
don't
you
have
need
that. Just 4, 5, 6, 7, 50, and then what is it? Yeah, that's it for now. And then 85, and then hopefully 47 in the
The
future.
Mark III it's certainly not like an amazing figure by today's standards, but
It's classic.
I have a soft spot in my heart for that figure. It's so good, in my opinion. I know it's not the best thing ever, but I do like it. Optical 20 says, TC, you putting the stickers up on the Hall of Armors?
Oh no. I go open. Open,
Nice.
no stickers, open viewing, and like that. But
Oh, it's like a digital print, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The key with those is if you can find a deal on the single, try and go with that one, because if you get the set of 7, they only give you 1 sticker for each of the armors, but every individual Hall of Armor gets all 7.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
I feel like you could probably sell those stickers. Like if someone
Probably.
messed up on theirs, I feel like there's
That's a
probably a
good
market
idea.
for that.
That's a good idea.
Stephen Krett, Gerald, Brian, Danny, Optical 20 in the chat. Gerald says Mark 46 is his favorite. Yeah, that's a good suit of armor. Did you get anything else?
Yeah, so back in early May, I ordered from. This is kind of unfortunate. I ordered from Pop Culture the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker figure from Hot Toys. It
Uh-huh.
sat in Australia for like 3 weeks, and then once it left the country, it got to me in 2 days. I
Yeah.
opened it up, and it was devastating. You messaged me earlier about your acrylic fix type thing. I don't want to ruin anything for the I guess for the podcast in the future, but it's a solution that you can help repair joints. But I got it, and the boot was off
Oh
of the
no.
figure, and I tried snapping it in, and
Uh-huh.
it won't snap in. So I took the other boot, ripped it off the
Yeah,
leg.
swapped it to the other leg.
Yeah, and that one snapped in flush. So there's something wrong with the joint, and it's really
I
disappointing.
would Yeah, I would try to get a flashlight, like use your phone camera because the usually the flash is right next to it, and make sure the joint because there's usually like a plastic ball joint inside the boot. Make
Yeah,
sure that's not cracked. If it's not cracked, it could just be that maybe it was a miscast in the factory.
yeah,
I would definitely try the joint fixer. Put a good amount in the ball joint of the boot, like actual inside the boot, and it comes with a nice dropper so you can get real
yeah.
deep into the boot and then also coat the ball joint itself at the ankle, and that should more than likely fix it.
Yeah, it probably will. And who knows
But
with
yeah,
the
there's nothing worse than
situation.
that,
It
especially
sucks
if
too
you
because it's a
waited so long.
reseller. So I mean, it's an authorized retailer. So I hate having to send something back. But even I hate when stuff comes with issues out of the box from an authorized retailer. Just sucks. But hopefully,
Yeah,
maybe I'll return it. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah. Carlos said, "What's up, gentlemen?" So for me this week, I picked up the BVS Batman regular suit. Picked that up from Mario Cortez, who's in both of our groups. So big shout out to Mario. My wife got that for me as an early birthday gift, and you can see it there in the shelf somewhere back there. And I really like it. It's probably my favorite suit. I know Justice League has a pretty similar suit with a little bit more updated take on it, but this one is definitely got to be my favorite suit. I also picked up the Black Series Infist Nest, and that comes with the motorbike or the speeder bike rather, and the figure. And the figure itself is really good. So I'm definitely glad to have it. Gerald says Pop Culture has a really good return policy. They might, but then you still have to pay return shipping on
I
a
know.
box that big, and that's gonna be it's gonna be a pretty penny.
I know.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, so not too crazy of a week, but definitely got some good things coming. Dean, let's get into the news this week. So, the Golden Armor Wonder Woman from Hot Toys went up for pre-order. This comes in at $300 for the regular edition,
I
360 for the deluxe edition. The difference there being the spreadable wings. And this is releasing April to June 2021. I think that they have nailed this head sculpt. It is gorgeous. There's some people that are complaining about the finish on the armor, but I think it looks pretty decent. What do you guys think?
I mean, I prefer a more classic Wonder Woman. Again, maybe in the movie this will be like so cool that I totally change my mind. But it's beautiful. I don't know if I want to own it, but
Yeah, this is nice. I mean, the sculpt is this might be their best sculpt they've ever done in the prototype.
I'm right there with you. This looks stunning, and it's been a sculpt that they've had trouble getting right for a while. I mean, this is what their fourth or fifth attempt at the sculpt, and it finally seems
yeah.
like they've nailed it.
But this is
Um,
also what do you call it? A promo, so it could totally change and be awful.
yeah, but usually Hot Toys is fairly close to their prototypes, and this is like, in my opinion, shrink ray. Now there are some people that are saying this should be gold, like a Mare gold chrome, like they showed off in the initial photos at the secret base. Maybe it was like Rebel Base. They had like a DC event in the middle of the coronavirus stuff. But you can see here on the screenshot, the armor isn't actually a Mare chrome. It looks like a weathered gold armor suit, which makes a lot of sense. I think that they nailed it. Now, the only concern that I do have is on the Secret Race prototype, there was a big old chip on the armor, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty obvious. The chip. I think like the ones down here towards the waist, you could maybe say those are battle damage or like weathering, but a big old chunk of gold coming out of the middle of the chest there or the belly right there. I don't know. That's kind of scary as far as the longevity of this gold finish is going to be. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
just
think
like
this looks really good.
a figure you just never touch.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is also again, it's a prototype, and those things aren't usually meant to be handled.
Yeah, there were some people in the comments that said like Hot Toys prototypes are sometimes held together by like tape or like, like glue, like just
Right.
like very rough approximations of a finished figure. And maybe someone dropped this while they were setting it up or scratched
Yeah,
it.
I'm not
I
too
mean,
concerned with it. But
there could be a number of reasons why it would have this. The price is a bit high. Obviously, this is a pretty big figure once you get the wings expanded, 360. But 360, man, that's a lot of money. So I'm wondering if this is going to have any die cast to make up for that price. But that's my only complaint is the price. I think everything else, the head sculpt is beautiful, the outfit is beautiful. Just 360 though, it's kind of a lot.
yeah.
Danny Lee says he thinks that they nailed the sculpt on the training Wonder Woman, and Gerald says, "What happened to Kylo?" I don't know what you mean by that. And then Optical says diecast categories. So
I think it's because your shelves changed.
oh yeah, they did change. Up next, we had some new photos of the Piccolo 2.0 we've been talking about for the last few weeks. So these are the 3 different head sculpts that you get, and there's a look at the cape, which is expandable in 3 different flaps, like the Majin Buu cape, which is a really good move, and a look at the I guess like the amputated arm effect,
Yeah.
which looks really bad in my opinion. This just doesn't look that great. Dean, this is probably a pickup for you, I think.
Oh yeah, easy. Because someone was doing a comparison,
Hmm.
and they had the crossed arms next to the old crossed arms,
Yeah,
and they're significantly bigger.
yeah, like
So
20%, something
yeah,
like
so
that.
this should be a pretty sizable Piccolo.
Hmm.
I'm still gonna keep my old one just so I can have like this look and then like a fighting look, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean Piccolo's the man, so that's an easy pickup.
yeah, easily a top 5 character. TC, you knew about Piccolo. Were you a fan of Dragon Ball? Is this like a new
My
friendship
my
that we're
my
building?
brother is. I'm not. I need to
Okay,
get into it. But look. They always make good figures of Dragon Ball Z. So
it's so good, dude. Super is so good. I have so much fun watching it. It's
Uh,
super, dare I say.
I
You like it,
almost
Dean?
recommend watching Dragon Ball Z abridged
Dude, it's funny. I
because
watched it
it's
too.
so funny. It cuts so much fat out of the show, and you still get all the kick-assness. But
where do you find
yeah, I
that?
really love Dragon. It's on
It's on
YouTube.
it's on YouTube. It's like
Okay.
an unofficial fan parody, and it got so popular, in fact, that the company that makes Dragon Ball like actually was like, yo, like y'all need to not do this because like they basically take all the footage of the episode and take out all the audio and like redub it with like jokes and like kind of meme it a little bit. And I think they were just saying like people were going to the conventions and asking the like trying to meme the actors, and it was just like a really distracting thing.
Yeah,
And eventually the company that produces it was like, yeah, we're just going to stop because it's just becoming such a problem. This is something that Jazz Inc. dioramas put up for pre-order. It's the 1/12 scale Ultimate Justice Mobile. This
nice.
comes in at $399, and this is going to be available December 21st, 2020. Yoast does have several different payment plan options for this. If this is anything as good as the 1/6 scale version, I think this is going to be, in Dean's words, a slam dunk. Rubber tires, steerable wheels, has an option for a diorama display base. This is pretty good. TC, are you? I know you added this to
Dude,
show sheet. Have you ordered anything from Yoast? Is this maybe a pickup for you?
I have the. Well, I bought his land speeder
Okay.
for Luke, Farm Boy Luke. I'm actually probably gonna end up selling it. I don't have a spot for it. It's unfortunate, but um,
Ooh,
Ooh, Dean. I saw Dean perk up a little bit there.
yeah, just a little.
Dean, are you
Just a
interested in
little.
that?
I've always wanted one.
Well, I'm not in a rush to sell, but I think I am going to end up doing it. So if you ever are interested in the future, let me know.
So do you have it presently, or you're
I know
you're
it's in my
still in
yeah, it's in my house. I just
Oh.
I was gonna go for it. It's just it takes up a lot of real estate, and
Yeah.
then I had other plans for some other figures from Yoast, like the
Yeah,
Vulture, which I have on pre-order,
the Iron
and
Scavenger. Yeah.
yeah, the Iron Scavenger. I can only have so many pieces that are of that size. So
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I'm kind of running into that problem where it's like I'm getting these figures and they're like, like the Rex was like 30 inches long or the
I know.
shark is 25 inches long. It's like, I have the space, like the square footage, but there's only so many pieces that you can display like that. And at some point
Right.
I'm gonna have to, get rid of some. It's not gonna be the Rex, but there's some things that are gonna have to move because I literally physically can't fit any more shelves in this room unless I somehow convince my wife to let me put detofs in the what's it called, like a day bed section of this office, which I never use. Yeah, then the collection will be at maximum capacity. But Dean, that could be a pickup for you maybe down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also had the Hulkbuster incoming, so that was also
Oof.
another big piece. Those are too many
God
big
damn.
pieces, so I
Yeah.
just kind of I need to tone it back a little bit on that.
Yeah,
But
I'm still debating on whether I want to pre-order the Falcon cockpit,
Yeah.
that
but I need
that's
a
a whole nother
car.
league, man.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
Yeah. TC, going back to something you mentioned on your show a few weeks ago, how has your parting out gone with the Interbay Michael Jordan? Maybe we can talk about that just for a second because I've been curious.
Actually, pretty well. I bought a few of the sets, so I've been parting out slowly. But I've had a buyer come back to me multiple times, and
Oh wow.
he's been buying, some of the shoes and some of the home shoes, some of the away shoes, some of the uniforms. He even bought a figure.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've made some good money. The update will take a while before I give a final update because I bought probably more than I should have, but just the prices they were so low on that
Yeah.
network app. They're like $350 for a set that retails at Big Bad Toy Store for $560. So
And that was through what network app? It was for the NBA network?
so no, it's this app called Network, so NTWRK.
Okay.
They drop like I don't know, they're an apparel company, but they also drop collectibles, and by drop I mean they list them. It's
Yeah.
kind of like not a QVC, but it's like a home sales.
Like an overstock.com or something like that.
Yeah, and then I guess they just got a bunch in, and they kept
wow.
dropping the price, and every time they would do it, it would almost force my hand. I was like, well, I can make money off this, and then put that towards future figure. I've made several $100s so far, so we'll see how it keeps going.
Not bad.
I know, yeah, we'll see how it goes in the future. I'm a little bit slow when it comes to selling things, but I get around to it with time.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this was something shown by Toys Era today. This is Robin from the Teen Titans. I guess this is like the live action version of Robin. And this looks really good. I've not seen this show, but man, this looks awesome. I mean, you get, I imagine several important accessories here. The R, maybe it's like a batarang thing, and then this weapon here. I mean, I don't know that much about the character. Some people did put up some comparisons of the actor and the toy, and everything looked really good. And I think this would be a cool figure to put alongside a BVS Batman. I mean, it has that gritty DC, cinematic universe look. I think this could be a really cool figure once it's released. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't like it, but
What
Dean
don't you
hates
like
it.
about it? Yeah, that was...
I mean, I don't. I don't really like Batman. I definitely don't like Robin.
The Boy Wonder? You don't like the Boy Wonder?
No, so this is like not on my radar at all. I mean, I guess it looks cool, but even I'm just like, no, I'm good.
What about UTC?
It is what it is. How close I mean, this looks pretty good. I mean, does Toys Air, do they generally do a good job?
Yeah, I mean, with their Colossus, I think there
final
was a
product?
minor issue with the paint rub of the nose. That's really the only time I've ever seen one of their figures come out not looking so good. Maybe there was one a few months back, that Joker figure. I don't know if that was Toys Era, but there's a really weird Joker figure from like the Gotham show, I think.
Oh yeah, that thing was goofy.
I don't remember if that was Toys Era, but maybe it's not. We're just roasting them unintentionally. But it was very interesting because on the same day, So Toys announced that they were making one as well. And they got a little bit of flack for this because initially they had shown like a render, almost like, I don't know if you can see my mouse here, but it was like just the torso here of like a 3D of the armor on ZBrush. And they were immediately called out because the image that they had used, the graphic, was from a cosplay website that was selling the files. And
Oh,
so they edited out the cosplay, like the company that designed it, and they were passing that off as like a part of their figure, which I mean, I guess if they're going so far to make a figure of an unlicensed character, I can see the jump of them just buying a file and producing it.
right.
I mean, if they're gonna do that, I mean, I don't really have think that they're like the moral high ground for anybody. But they did delete the post and they did post this look here. So it's just kind of interesting to see that two third-party companies coming at the same figure on the same day. I'm wondering if one forced another's hand, and very interesting to see there. But I mean, it's
I mean,
almost like
it's.
the toy equivalent of like a rap battle. You're gonna have these two companies producing like the same character,
I mean, they did it
and
with the Joker. Everybody made a damn Joker.
it's fantastic. We
true.
can compare and contrast, and so
Yeah,
Soso
it's
Toys
like,
is going to do that. Kevin's in the chat, Iron Geek,
hey, what's
and
up, dude?
Mario Cortez says he could use some of the home Michael Jordan shoes. So
I was
might
having
be
this conversation with my sister the other day about Pixar and Disney and how when they're making a movie, a lot of the times the people that are actually animating the movie will get laid off or they get fired or whatever, and they go to a different studio, and then they now have insider information like, oh, we were making a movie about fish, and then that studio now makes a movie about fish at the same time, like a
is that what
Bug's
happened with
Life.
Bugs Life?
Yeah, Bug's Life. What's that movie?
Ants Life.
An Ant's
Ants.
Tail or whatever. Oh, it's just ants.
It's
Yeah,
just
and
ants, yeah.
then a
Cats.
Shark's Tale, Finding Nemo.
Oh,
Shit
wow.
like that happens. So it's like these six scale companies also have kind of the same like sculptors working on head sculpts. Like, oh well, what have you been doing? Like, oh well, Soso Toys is making a Robin. It's like, well, fuck, let's make one too and make it better. You know what I mean? Like that
I've
could
said
be a
this.
possibility.
I've said this before. It doesn't matter who made it first. It matters who made it better.
Oh no, I'm 100. Yeah, dude. Like that
Kevin
makes the market
has
better.
a really interesting perspective here. He says, I don't really see anything wrong with that when you're a growing company. I do pretty much the same thing. I buy files and turn them into figures. And Kevin does damn
Yeah,
good work.
I mean, as long as you're paying for it, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they didn't steal it. And
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, like that seems kind of iffy. But if they're buying the file, I mean, they could do whatever they want with it. They paid for it.
yeah,
And
we
it's not
did.
like it's this person's original design either. They ripped it off of.
Yeah, we did something similar when we made our first collecting weekly group buy with the Sebastian Shaw head sculpts. We found a file and then produced it and made a mold. Though we only charged exactly what it cost us. Like we totaled out the project and then we divided it by, I think it was like 11. So everyone paid such that there was no profit to be made. It was purely, we put in this much into renting a 3D printer, making a mold and resin casting 11 of these. This is what we're charging. And, that's a very interesting perspective though, Kevin.
Yeah, we tried to make it fair to the
Yeah.
guy who actually sculpted it. But
Now this really pissed me off.
Ooh.
Super Mad Toys is making a goddamn what's his name? Wallace, right? From Blade Runner 2049. Now they're saying that the
Damn.
Hunter K is finally releasing at the end of June. But man, this was
Yeah,
super
we'll
annoying.
see.
It's like, guys, stop making new shit. Like focus on, because they announced an Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible like 800, whatever the last Mission Impossible was, and they had that figure announced, produced, and shipped like in a month. I don't get
Yeah.
it. Like I know K is complicated, but you've also had almost 2.5 years working on a figure.
Yeah.
But this will be very interesting. At least this is their third figure from the line because they made Deckard and K and then now Wallace. Richie says the head cast looks sick.
Yeah, looks just like Jared Leto.
And then Kevin says, now if they steal it, it's a whole different story. Like when I was asked to do Shazam, I went to Marco and partnered with him versus just putting out a figure using his heads. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go if you're going to be making a figure like that. This was very exciting for me, Dean. So the Young Rich Miles Morales did release. We talked about it last week, but we finally have some actual photos of the figure, and this thing looks stunning. I know a few people in our chat weren't a huge fan of it, but for what it is and what it costs, I think this is just a really good figure. Manny pointed out the nose holes for this mask here are too far down. Definitely a problem. But I mean, everything just seems to be really good in my opinion. What are you
Those
guys'
shoes are
thoughts?
sick.
Yeah, you said the
The-
Jordans here were actually better than the ones that you that were the
w-
officially licensed
well,
ones.
I say that because like Enter Bay for their regular Jordan figures, they won't put like the leather material. It's plastic. It's like a rubber plastic.
Uh huh.
So the fact that this looks like it's actually like a soft good, to me that's an improvement.
See, I almost thought that these were just plastic because I know the laces are plastic.
Maybe they
Maybe,
are. Maybe
but
my
they
eyes are
have that
playing
really
tricks.
nice like textured effect to them. Like I know the real shoes like they have like little patterns that are I don't know like
Yeah.
engraved or like I don't know what the word is, but
Like a mesh.
uh yeah, yeah. But these just look really good. Here's
Yeah,
a
it
few
was
more pictures here, and dude, this is just amazing.
the shoes are actually the most impressive part of this figure. Like the soles of the shoe are
Yeah, they're
that
like
clear
translucent.
blue
Yeah.
gelatin. Dude, those things are sick.
It comes
Um,
with I think these here on this white paper, there's some stickers that you can apply to different parts of the backdrop or like the phone.
that's cool.
The shoes come in their own quote unquote Nike box with a Young Rich certificate of authenticity. Initially, when I bought the final battle figure, I was thinking I was just going to part out the shoes. But now that I know they come this nice with this much love put in them, I don't think I'm going to do that. This just looks amazing. And this is, I think, only like $180 figure. So to get all these accessories, different outfits, clothing, hands, stickers, a full 1/6 scale Jordan box with certificate, that's a ton of love that they put into this figure. Not only that, the headphones, they do have the Sony branding on them. So these just look like a really cool figure. I think this is definitely something, Dean, we should consider for a figure of the year nomination.
This is gonna sound really funny.
Yes.
The Spider-Man outfit like doesn't fit right. Like I know it's not supposed to, but like around the neck,
Yeah.
like because remember he has the white shirt on under it,
Yeah. In the movie. Yeah.
but you can't do that on this, so it just looks
I think you
weird.
can. I just haven't seen anyone do it yet.
But
I don't
that's
know
kind of
why.
why I'm thinking you can't do it.
Like maybe it
That's
won't
a
fit on
big
there.
shirt. If you look on the
Yeah.
left,
Yeah, but they
uh,
do. I mean, you could buy a cheap, $3 1/6 white shirt, to put on this if that shirt's too baggy.
right.
Um,
No, I'm not saying there's ways around it, but it's just like that's just another thing you have to do.
but in my opinion, it's almost funnier that the suit doesn't fit because in the movie it's all janky, and this
Right.
also does come with the yellow cape that he tries to use a few times.
Right.
It comes with some web effects. I mean, this just looks freaking amazing. Iron Geek says, "Who makes this figure?" It's by a company called Young Rich Toys. They are, um, I think, as far as I can tell, they're a fairly new company. They're releasing two different Miles Morales figures, the Peter B. Parker, and then a Gwen Stacy figure.
Oh, the Peter B. Parker is gonna be cool.
Yeah, the Peter B. Parker looks really good, and his body looks really good too. I mean,
I mean, I would if I got this figure, it would be just to have a Miles on the shelf. I wouldn't use any of the Spidey stuff.
yeah. Gerald asks, does it come with the actual suit? So they actually did this in two figures. So the first figure is like the beginning of the
This
movie to like 3/4 of the movie, and then the second figure is like the final battle slash like the when he finally learns how to use his powers and he rocks the Nikes and the jacket and the shorts.
right.
So there's two different versions, and this is from the first part of the film. So I just think this is amazing looking figure, and
This is Steven's comment.
Dean, I think soon we need to start making some considerations for our figure of the year in different categories. Stephen Kretz says those shoes are exactly like the Spider-Man limited edition ones, box and all. Mario says it's a big ass box for those J's. So,
That's true. The box is a little oversized, but
yeah, I know that Manny was saying the tag was big too, but I mean, I guess it's just like it's kind of like when we'll talk about it a little later. But I'm making some 6 scale Sabat cards, and like you can make one card and it looks good, but if you made a whole deck, like it wouldn't really make sense because the scale of thickness doesn't really scale.
right.
And
Yeah.
so like if you made a tiny box, it might actually not be structurally sound enough to hold the foam and the Jordans and still close.
Right.
Same with the tag. Like if you made it an actual 6 scale tag, like in the movie the tag is super small. I'm almost, it'd probably be like not legible to read the text on the tag. um so yeah, very interesting stuff here. Now this is the uh the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Gwen Stacy, as I call it. But this is by a company called Bullethead. This figure is releasing this week. I've gotten the imminent arrival notice from TNS. The unfortunate part is that TNS is not shipping to the United States right now. All freight coming out of Hong Kong is blocked for most countries. But this looks really good, minus the head sculpt. I'm really excited, and I'm hoping that some reviewers get this in hand soon, so that we can see what this is going to look like, because I think this plus the Young Rich Miles would be a really cool display. Do you guys have any opinions on this figure before we move on?
No, I mean, you like this better in the Hot Toys version, or is it just
No,
first?
this was up for pre-order
Okay.
like a year, last June actually,
Yeah.
and this was back when we didn't have any idea what was coming out, and this was only like $130. So I pre-ordered it. I mean,
It's a good price.
I like Gwen Stacy. I don't like Gwen Stacy enough to spend like $270 or whatever the Sideshow one costs. If I will say this, if the Hot Toys Miles and Gwen Stacy come out looking really good, I'll probably splurge on them. But if I get these figures and own them for a year and then resell them, right about what I paid for them, I don't think I will have been disappointed to have enjoyed them for that long while
Yeah.
waiting for the Hot Toys.
Yeah, for sure.
But this sculpt is awful. This is like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, the head sculpt is trash. But if you just have the Gwen Stacy as with the mask on, I think that's a knockout figure for the price.
Yeah, definitely. This is pretty funny here. So the Star Ace Severus Snape was released. A blogger named Cherry reviewed it, and on the right is the final picture, the middle is the prototype, and the left is the actor Alan Rickman.
R.I.P.
This why they got to massacre my boy like this?
It's
man?
insulting. Dude. He's
This
already
is
dead.
so
Leave him
bad.
alone.
This looks like Deep Roy from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I just don't even
Honestly,
understand.
It's his face isn't long enough. I
It's
think
too
is the
it's too
problem.
wide.
Yeah.
If it
I
was
think
skinnier,
I think it would have been okay.
like if you cut it off like right here,
Yeah.
like just on both sides, and then painted it a little bit better, I think you'd have a really
Yeah.
decent sculpt.
The prototype with a longer face would be okay.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
paintwork on the production pieces, it's lacking.
Yeah,
He's
not
almost ghostly.
He reminds me of somebody. I just cannot think of it. I couldn't search for it. It
It's
does
Deep Roy,
not
baby.
look like him.
Don't make that joke, Zach.
there was a point where my brain
I could tell.
there
I'm just
there-
saying, like, he's
No,
so
I'm not.
pale on the far right that it's like, what the fuck were they going for?
I think we made a good decision not to go there, Dean. But yeah, this is I don't know. It seems like Star Ace gets really good licenses, and then they just butcher them like this.
Oh, this is an official figure.
This is an actual real figure.
Oh, okay.
Kevin
Shit.
says, and people wonder why I live by
Feeling
making
right.
my production models better than the prototype. Yeah, that's what you got to do, man. You gotta undersell your work, and that when people get it, they're really surprised.
That's what Zach does.
Yep, and no one's ever been happy. So, Dean, your segment here, movers
Mine?
and shakers.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk some movers and shakers. So, I noticed this week in the groups. Well, let me start. 2 weeks ago, you couldn't find a TLJ Kylo Ren. Like no one was selling them.
No.
Last
And a
week,
month before that, you couldn't get rid of him.
last week, yeah, exactly. Last week, there was starting to be some people getting their figures. There were some transactions happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like this figure is definitely cooling down, because there's been a few people that have listed them for like $350, $400 that are still sitting on them. I know Chris Letty had one for I think it was like $400. I think he did sell it to Mario, at least from what I got from the comment / sold trail that I was able to follow.
Yeah.
But I've seen a handful of these up for like $350 that are just stagnating. So this one is a figure I definitely would wait till it goes down to about $280 to buy, and I think it's going to keep going down until the third one comes out from TROS.
Yeah.
Also moving and shaking, I think that the Justice League figures are going to start shooting back up now that the Snyder Cut has been announced.
Oh, yeah.
This kind of announcement really makes it possible for the Justice League to be completed. I think that if the Snyder Cut does well, Hot Toys has plenty of reasons to revisit and release a Cyborg. So this is going to be a very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these figures over the next few weeks now that this has been announced.
Iron Geek better hurry.
Well, like you said, I mean, people can own his figure for a year plus. I mean, because that movie's
Right.
not coming out till 2021,
That's
which means
true.
the
And
Hot
then
Toys isn't
yeah,
going to
it'll be
be for like a year and a half.
yeah. Yeah, I guess don't rush, but
Don't rush, but I certainly think in these next few weeks we're going to see a lot of people looking for these figures. I've
yeah.
seen this week alone 3 or 4 want to buy threads for the armored Batman, and several want to buy
Those are all
threads for the Batman versus Superman regular suit and tactical suit. Haven't seen much love for Supes, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, or the Flash, but definitely those 2 figures seem to be
I
getting
need
some
a
want to
Superman
buys.
so bad.
You really do, man.
The BVS Batman
Dude.
to me is the best of all of them.
I think so too, and everyone's like,
I
no,
think
the other
so
suits are
too.
better.
I
I
love
don't
it.
know.
It's
The
such a good
color, I like
figure.
the color better on the BVS
I like the
version.
color, and I like the fact that it's just a more worn suit. Like his suit has like in the logo, it has like scratch marks and everything. It just looks really good. Yeah, it's just a really good looking figure. But yeah, I think these are definitely going to be figures that are going to rise in value in these next few weeks. And then TC, you wanted to chat about this one here.
I do. So this is an interesting one. So when Rogue One, that line was released, they released a Jyn Erso figure, a Jyn Erso deluxe figure with multiple different outfits from different scenes in the movie, and then this exclusive, the Hot Toys exclusive Jyn Erso in disguise version. For a long time, this one sat. I remember I actually got it from Pop Culture for like $200, maybe like 190. I ended up selling it, and I only have one Jyn Erso figure now, but this is one that kind of lagged behind, but they're never going to make this one again. And if they
Right.
do, we're talking a decade away or some crazy thing. The one that could get re-released if it ever continued to rise in price would be the regular Jyn Erso.
Right.
This
Yeah.
one's going to stay, it's going to stay with one issue. The supplies is not going anywhere but down, and the demand is going to continue to rise because Rogue One remains to be one of the most popular, well, the most popular modern Disney Star Wars films. So this
It's a
one,
good movie.
I've seen it go for $350, $400, close to $500. If you want it, I would say get it now
Yeah, I'll
because it's
jump on
not
that as
going
soon as
down.
we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're talking movers and shakers, if anyone's selling a Maleficent by Hot Toys, holla at your boy. I'm not paying $465 for one.
Are they not making one
Um,
for the new movie?
I don't think so, but I like the classic look
Yeah.
personally. Dean, take it away with our sponsor tag.
Hey, Watto Scrapyard, Annie. Yeah, our sponsor's Watto Scrapyard, guys.
Nailed it.
All your 3D printing needs for Hasbro Kenner vehicles that you have for your Star Wars collections. Whatever you need, floor panels, cockpits, missiles, for
Custom
any
head sculpt.
ship you could think of. We also did a joint project where I shipped him my right here. It's on my shoulder. My Lambda class. Is it Lambda class? Imperial shuttle? So he's got those parts coming in that he's going to be able to sell, which are hard to get. So look out for those. And then he's doing head sculpts for 3 3/4 inch, 6-inch, and 12-inch scale figures. He'll fill any hole in your shelf that you can imagine. Just send him a message, and he's such a pleasure to work with.
Real quick,
It's an absolute angel.
on Tashi, I commented on a thread from March, which is like 2.5 months ago. And I asked the guy if he had sold this figure, and Gerald Garfield was like, "Man, you are thirsty AF." And I'm like, "Dude, that's how you find the deals. You find these threads that like no one sold something for a while, you hit them
Oh,
up,
dude,
and
that's
you
what I
get a
do.
deal."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "Gerald, you are so thirsty. You're in here asking for a short trooper after
Dude,
you emailed
everyone's after my
Dean,
short
like,
trooper.
yeah, everyone's after Dean's short trooper. It's like,
TC, do you have one?
No, I didn't know you had one. I'll trade you.
Yeah, dude, everyone's always coming into the comments like, hey, let me get you short trooper.
Dude, I didn't even know. Okay, so before I met Brian, like I was into Hot Toys since like 2015, but it was more Iron Man.
there you go, Gerald.
Some Star Wars, but a lot of Iron Man. I never even really focused on the Short Trooper.
Yeah.
Missed the boat on that big time.
I don't know what it was about that figure that I was like, I have to own this. I just thought it was cool that it was a stormtrooper in pants. Like that's what drew me to the figure. I was like, that's so cool. Like they could move around a lot easier, and I'm not gonna have to worry about like breaking the legs, or the fabric, like tearing.
Yeah,
I just thought it was a really cool looking figure, and luckily a comic book by my house, a comic book store by my house, got it, and I put it on layaway. and I think it was only like $20 over retail or something, which is
Best
insane for them.
purchase ever.
Yeah,
Dean.
and dude, like it just shot up. I was like, what the hell is going on with this thing? But that's another one. We were talking about it. Was that After Dark, Zach?
Yes.
On the movers, I don't think they're gonna remake that figure anytime soon.
I think they could redo it for VGM personally, but
They would do another version. They're not going to release the Captain. Is that what it is?
yeah,
the
but
Captain?
they would do the one with like the blue chest or whatever, the one without.
Yeah,
Squad leader.
and like the skirt. I think it's cool without the skirt. Or comma if it's clone-ish, but yeah. I mean that figure's so high that I almost hate to say get it now, but
they're all high. If you just search Rogue One, K2SO is going for like $700.
Yeah, well the short trooper I saw was like almost 1,000. And I was like, what the fuck? Why?
The Death Trooper Deluxe, 800.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
I had someone offer 2 Death Troopers, 1 deluxe and 1 regular for my short trooper. And I said no.
That's wild.
That's a good trade, but I just love that short trooper. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So this was interesting. The Make Solo 2 Happen campaign was trending on Twitter this week.
Oh yeah, I saw this today.
Yeah, a lot of people in the second year after this film's release really want to see this part 2 happen. I think it would be great. I think there's a lot of story to be told, getting Han from where he's at then to becoming very well known, very wanted man. I think that's a good story that needs to be told. And I definitely think that I personally would love to see this. A lot of people were saying that Disney should just do this for the fans, but I mean, I think they spent something like 275 million on Solo 1 and they only made like something like 400 million back. So I don't know if it's worth it for Disney to put that much money into a sequel. Would you guys be interested in seeing something like this as like a Disney Plus show maybe instead of a full feature film?
No.
I think just let things lie.
Well,
I mean, a 10-part show or a 2-hour movie, I'd rather just get it over in 2 hours.
Well, Bean's in a negative mood today.
No, just like the Solo movie didn't
overtly negative
accomplish anything. It's fun. It's a good movie.
That's
but
all
it's
you
like,
need.
but there's no stakes. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, Chewbacca's about to fall off this thing. Will he survive? Yeah, no shit, he survives.
I'd like to see the Crimson Dawn.
Jr.
A little more. I'd like to see the Darth Maul.
Dude, wouldn't that be some shit though if Chewbacca
cool.
died in the movie? Like, and they just like totally.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
I guess seeing Darth Maul on the big screen again would be kind of cool.
No, it wouldn't. I fucking hate that character.
I hate him too, but it's like, dude, if you're gonna fucking do this over and over and over again, at least put him on the big screen for God's sakes. But like, it's like, ooh, he has tension with this beautiful girl. What's gonna happen? Well, he's not gonna end up with her. She's probably gonna die. Like, I already know he ends up with Leia. Like, why am I'm not invested in any of this shit. Like, I didn't need to know how he got his name. I just thought it was a name. You know what I mean? Like, it's a movie that accomplishes nothing. It's fun, but I don't know. I don't feel the need to see more of it. Yeah. Maybe I am just being negative.
So Zack Snyder's Justice League cut was announced to be coming out on HBO Max. This is coming out next year. I think it's going to be like a 4.5-hour ordeal, rumored to be split into multiple parts. I think this is very interesting. There's a lot of fans going on the internet and saying like, "Oh, we bullied the studio into doing this," and kind of taking the bragging route about this. I think it's really cool. It kind of is going to be interesting though, like, what other movies are going to get this treatment? There was a tweet. I don't know. I guess it was from someone that was a part of the Ghostbusters, the reboot, quote unquote, that was saying, "Oh, we have a 4-hour cut of the Ghostbusters movie," and they were trying to get that trending, which was kind of interesting. It's like, if movies are released not to critical acclaim, is this going to be a thing that we're going to see more often of movies getting HBO releases and an extended director's cut? What do you guys think of this announcement and just that thought in general?
If it's not Lord of the Rings on the extended cuts, I don't want to see a 4-hour movie. I just I'll take the 2-hour movie. I just watched the movie tonight. before the show, preparation and prep for the show. It's an okay movie. Just I don't see it doesn't build on anything. It's just it is what it is. It's
It
fun.
was like oh fuck, we killed Superman. We got to
I
get
know.
him alive again. That's the point of the movie. That was
Exactly.
it. It was like the bad guy's forgettable. Are we talking about the movie yet, or are we just talking about?
We're talking about the Justice League.
Okay, well, I'll save
Now
my
we'll talk
thoughts
about
for
the
the movie.
movie, I guess.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
let
I
me.
think it's really cool that someone is listening to the fans.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little sick and tired of being called a fucking crybaby when we're the ones that are paying for this shit. You know what I mean? Um, uh, I'm not that invested in the DC movies, but I know people who are. So it's nice to see that those people are getting what they wanted.
That's true.
I would just feel
I
really
agree.
bad though if the Schneider cut comes out and it's really bad. Like I
Yeah.
think that they think that the Snyder Cut's going to be this amazing thing, and it very well may be like the best DC anything,
Yeah.
but there's also a chance that it could just not do well. And there's some rumors going around like, are the actors going to be recast and shoot additional footage, or are they just going to use what they have and try to shoehorn it in? It's going to be very interesting to see what exactly happens.
I don't think it could be worse.
I didn't mind the movie. So let's talk about it. So Justice League is a 2017, it's our retro review, by the way, is a 2017 American superhero film based on the DC Comics superhero team of the same name. It's a follow-up to the 2016's Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice and the fifth installment in the DC Extended Universe. In the film, Batman and Wonder Woman recruit the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg after Superman's death to save the world from the catastrophic threat of Steppenwolf and his army of parademons. This film has a 40% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, I I can see that a lot of the criticisms of this film. Reading some of the critical comments, a lot of people were saying that the mood of this film is so different compared to like the other DC films, which were very dark. This one had a very like Marvel-esque feel of like jokes and humor,
Yeah.
and I didn't mind that at all. I had zero expectations going into this movie, and I think because of that, I think I had a better time. I really liked Ezra Miller as the Flash. I just kind of wish he didn't choke that chick out in the bar because I would love to see more of his character as the Flash. The Superman CGI, it was almost like this
Oh
Mandela
God.
effect thing where I wasn't sure which scenes had his real mouth and which scenes didn't. I actually wasn't sure. Ray
Oh,
Fisher as the
it's
cyborg was
so
really good.
obvious.
Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Bay AF. Batman was really good. Alfred was really good. I'm definitely not a fan of Aquaman in this movie. I just don't really get his character like at all. Like he just doesn't make any sense to me in any way, shape, or form. I
Wait,
just think
which
he's the
character?
Aquaman. I think he's the
Okay.
worst part of this movie.
Yeah,
I've
he's
just
so
never
much
been a fan of
better.
the actor, but it's like, he's like joking, but then serious, but then like really not that funny, and like I just don't
He's so much
really,
better in his own movie.
really,
Yeah, like the Aquaman movie is actually hella badass. I really enjoyed that movie. The
yeah.
CG in that movie is also like this movie. It's total garbage, but I mean, if you can get past that, it's pretty cool.
Look at that.
But
Manny said it has that feeling because it's the director of the Avengers. Look at that. Who would have known? I had no idea. Yeah, like I said, I had zero expectations. I did no research. I just watched this movie. Austin says, "Oh my God, Justice League! Why, bro? There's these times have passed." Well, we're reviewing Justice League because that was the big news this week was the Zack Snyder cut. So I wanted to go back and revisit it. Kevin says for the movie, and then claim fan service. However, this is just my opinion. It seems as though a lot of companies are doing quote unquote fan service. Dean, so you didn't like this movie?
I don't hate it. It's serviceable. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's almost too like I don't know, like too friendly, I guess.
It felt like an
It,
Avengers movie, but you just don't have the backstory of all the characters.
yeah,
So it's
for
like it really
sure.
lacked.
It takes no risks at all. It's just like what'll be good, and then
So
it's just
everyone
like
was
they pull it
saying,
off mediocrely.
yeah, everyone was saying that Superman was going to come back in a black suit. When was that supposed to happen? Like when he came
That's in
back
the
from the dead?
Schneider cut.
But when? Like just like for the whole rest of the movie, he'd have a black suit.
No, I guess it's in the Schneider cut. I don't know when he comes back
Uh,
to life.
the one thing I will say about this movie is like the Avengers built up on like a lot of like pre-hype. Like they had the Thanos teaser and like to get to Avengers 1, there was like so much build up for it.
Yeah.
And in BVS, it was like 2 scenes of like, oh, I found
A
this
history.
encrypted thing. And then it
Steppenwolf's
just
history.
felt like, yeah, they tried to like force everything. I don't know. Like, I just feel like this movie, basically, it's like DC was playing catch up. Like they were just trying to fucking put the shit together and catch up to where the Avengers were.
Yeah,
at that point in
BVS should have
time.
been a 2-part movie.
Wasn't it originally planned to be? I vaguely remember that being
I think it should have. Like, dude, you should have had an actual Batman versus Superman where they fuck each other up and call it at the end of the day. And then in the next movie, they still kind of fucking hate each other, but it's like they reluctantly team up because of fucking what's his face. I think it was too early to bring in Doomsday, but fuck it. You could keep Doomsday. Just have something that brings them together. Then you would have had the Wonder Woman movie kind of come in at the same time, so you know who she is when she shows up. And then I don't know, incorporate the Flash, and then
Aquaman before Justice League,
and then
not after.
Maybe like a Cyborg tie-in, and then do a Justice League movie. But they didn't want to wait that long. That's what, 6 years?
Yeah.
They were like, "Fuck Marvel, let's do that." In 2 fucking movies or 3 movies. It was the Bam or Superman movie, BVS, and then this. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You can't do that. I don't care that Superman died. I barely know him. Like, I wasn't emotionally invested in his death. When Tony Stark died, like, holy shit. It's like I grew up watching
but
him.
Also,
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark dying is at the end of phase 3 for Marvel, so there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah,
fucking movie's called the Justice League. Like Superman is like one of the biggest parts of the Justice League. Like even back when he died in BVS before Justice League was announced, there was always that rumor like, oh, it's gonna be a thing, and introducing the metahumans was like, pretty much guaranteeing a Justice League. I knew like from that point, like there's no way. And I think even at the end, didn't the grave, like the ground shake or something?
Yeah, it's like, okay,
it's like,
so you're immediately taking it back. So any impact that it did have, you just shit all over it.
Yeah.
It
would be better if he was like dead for a full movie, and you got to see that world without Superman.
Right.
Sean
Which is
Nazi
why
says,
they put a Justice League together, because they're like, fuck, we need someone to pick up the slack.
It was way rushed. Mario asked, do you think fans would show up for a theatrical release next year instead of HBO Max? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I'd rather do that than pay for HBO Max. I mean, what does that cost?
Probably $10-15.
HBO's what, $15 a month?
Something like that, yeah.
Does that include Max, or is that another add-on?
That's it. Grinds my gears. HBO has fucking 20 streaming services. HBO Go, HBO Now, HBO Max, HBO. Just have HBO. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much.
Oh, what's up, Eric? He's in the chat.
Speaking of grinds my gears, I love that segment.
Oh, it's so
looking
fun.
forward to that tonight.
Dean, this was something you wanted the fans to know. Now, for no reason, NPR was talking about this like 3 weeks ago. Like, there's nothing Star Wars coming out. But I remember I was driving to work and they were talking about the process that they made this. And please introduce it.
Yeah, shift gears. We were being hella negative a minute ago.
Yeah, Dean's been so angry this whole show. It's like Dean and I have flip-flopped. Yeah. I've been in such a good mood this show, and Dean's over here being a negative Nancy. And TC's just being a sweet angel as always.
I know, poor TC. He's like, Jesus Christ, these guys are
I'm never coming back on the show.
Yeah. One and done, baby.
Oh God.
Yeah, so this is basically, I'm assuming the novelizations, Zach, because they're very different. Like they start different, and there's like different dialogue and.
Well, I think it's my understanding with let's tell the people listening to the audio what it is. It's the Star Wars, the NPR production of the radio drama. And it's my understanding that a lot of the differences were based on the screenplay, but also there's a lot of things that you see in Star Wars that you have to explain like for the radio drama.
Right.
Star Wars wasn't always like this huge thing. And when this was produced, Star Wars was very early in its infancy. And so essentially they've made 3 radio dramas of Star Wars for episode 4, episode 5, episode 6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about 5 and 6,
14 hours, by the
but
way.
I know for episode 4, Mark Hamill and Anthony Daniels were the only original cast that were present on this recording,
Right.
and the rest of the cast was filled in by drama majors from a community college or like a college nearby. And you can actually watch this on YouTube. You can also buy the CDs. It's a really good time, though. It's a very different take because, the voice of Darth Vader isn't James Earl Jones, Princess Leia, Han Solo. They're voiced by different actors and
This is
actresses.
before they were iconic, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and it's a very cool thing that NPR did way back when.
Yeah, it's dude, if you got 14 hours, if you got a long drive, or you're binging Collecting Weekly and Sixth Scale
Sixth Scale
Scavengers, and
There we go.
you need something
Shout
to
out.
watch or listen to, this it's just so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time.
But like I
Yep.
said, it's 14 hours.
Yeah, Dean sent that in the group chat, and I started to listen to it. 5 minutes in, I just kind of shut it off.
Oh,
But I'll pick it back up.
God damn it,
it's,
TC. This is Joy of Hobbying. So I think we have some new people to say in the chat, but we do a lot of hobbying projects. I do a lot of painting, and I'm always trying to get better. And so the first thing that I worked on this week is a Captain Rex head sculpt printed by Watto's Scrapyard for my good buddy Steven. I love this thing. It's so nice.
it looks
The
just like
print
him,
is
dude.
really good.
Nailed it.
Yeah, Sean did a really good job, and I'm really happy with the way the paint's coming on. This is going to be probably finished this weekend. And yeah, I got some touch-ups I need to do on the eyebrows. I painted them white, and I was like, something doesn't look right about this. And I was like looking at it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, let me pull up photos, and his eyebrows are black. So that was what didn't look right. They were just the
Maybe
wrong
just
color.
salt and pepper it in, or are you just gonna leave them like that?
No, I did paint them black. I painted them white originally, so I had to go back.
No, I was like, are you gonna salt and pepper them, or are you just gonna leave it like that?
I need to look at the actual. They looked like they were just black. If they're salt and pepper, then yeah, I'll definitely salt and pepper it. But the sculpt is really good, and I know I need to add a little bit of a black wash to the beard because in the show it's like a grayish color.
Yeah.
So that'll be done in the next few coats. Now the next thing that I worked on, this is for our Patreon members, is the 1/6 scale Sabat cards. The ones that I'm producing are from the last scene of Solo, where Han wins the Falcon by pulling the card from Lando's like wrist thing. It's the green Psylop card. So I'm making these for the Patreon members. Austin says it looks really good, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, that paint job is a really fun one. But I'm going to be making these for the Patreon members, and I got what is this, 9 produced so far, and I got like another 8 more to make. So yeah, these are coming along really well. And I did a Joy of Hobbying live stream. I couldn't sleep. It was like 3 a.m, and I just spent 45 minutes working on these, and you can see that process if you'd like. It's on our YouTube channel. And we just lost the slides. But yeah, so that is that. Let me pull up these slides real quick. But Dean, have you had any hobbying projects that you did this week?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I didn't even sketch anything this week.
Come on, Dean. Gotta practice. I don't know why our slides just crashed. So let me pull those back up. And here we are. TC, do you do any projects like that? Any
Dude,
crafting or anything?
I'm not good at that stuff. I hire people.
There you go. That's the way to do it. All right, so we're back. This is Grinds My Gears this week now. We haven't had a Grinds My Gears, at least I think officially in a while. But I had seen someone put up a thread on OSR, and they were saying, like, I'm looking to buy this figure. I'm willing to pay a decent price, but I don't want to pay eBay prices. And it was the gold chrome stormtrooper, and they were saying they wanted to pay like low 200s, which is like a pretty fair price. And this guy commented like, hey, I don't know what it is, but everyone wants everyone to give them a deal, and they don't want to pay anything, and they want to pay super lowball prices. I don't understand why people bother to post this. And he's like, it's not just your post, but I see this a lot in the groups. And my response was, on the other side of the coin, what's with people asking eBay prices on the groups? In my opinion, the groups, like, it's a collector's group. Like, we should be there to support each other, to hook each other up, and, sure, make a profit on a figure, I guess, but don't charge someone, $900 for a Mark 47 in the groups. that's how I feel. A lot of people tended to agree with that statement based on some of the comments and the replies. But big grinds my gears is like, eBay charges a lot of fees to list something for that much money. You get
Right.
eBay fees, PayPal fees. There is obviously just a listing fee. And to have people say like, I'm selling you this figure, like someone hit me up about Maleficent and they wanted like 1.5 times eBay prices for their figure. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Manny says, make your money supply and demand. Yeah, I don't know, Manny. That's just not how I feel about it.
I mean, if your figure's not selling in a day when you put on the 1/6 scale buy sell trade, I think you've overpriced it.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
my opinion on it. You're right. I tend to agree with you. When you go in this, look at eBay and then go lower by 10%, 5-10%.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of how I would look at it.
And I was talking to a seller today. He was really nice. He was very firm in his price for this figure that I was looking at. And he was like, well, this is what they sold on eBay. And I was just trying to explain, like, well, on the groups, like they sell for this much. On eBay, there's one from last week that sold for this much, which was way lower than the group, surprisingly. So that's what I want to pay. Like, I could be like if I buy it from you on the group, you're not having to pay that, what is it, like 10% to eBay and then 3% to PayPal.
Right.
I mean, that's almost 15%. And if you do the math, like the amount that I was asking for a private sale, it's like it's a good offer. So I'm hoping I can come to a deal with someone eventually, but yeah, being offered like almost 480 for a figure that sells on eBay for
So-
like 190 to 300 is like,
What's the sudden
What?
interest in Maleficent?
I mean, I've liked that figure
a-
for a while. I think
great figure.
Dean talked me out of it like 2 years ago. I vividly remember we had this conversation, Dean. I was like, dude, I really want it. And you were like, well, what would it be for? Whatever, like where would you put in your collection? And I think I'm at that point in collecting where there's nothing new that's coming out. And I'm going back and getting figures that I either bought, then sold, or that never had a chance to own. So the Rocketeer, the Terminator, Mark 46. Um, Mario says, Zach, that same seller kept lowballing me on a sale a while ago. They want the deal, but not willing to sell at a deal. Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm at that point in collecting. Like I've owned a lot of figures that a lot of people consider grails, and I'm just trying to go back and fill out my collection with other stuff that's harder to find.
It's a good strategy.
I don't remember having that conversation, but that sounds like something I would say.
No, I vividly remember because I was at my parents' house and I was like, dude, I just want this figure. Like, I don't know why. It just like looks like a cool figure. I like the movie. And then I was like, maybe Dean's right. Like, maybe this was a bad movie. So I rewatched the movie and I was like, nope, I definitely want this figure.
No, it's a cool movie.
And then it had sold. It was back on Tashi and it had sold while we were like the time it took me to buy the movie and get it in. And this was before digital movies. Let's see. Mario says, or Sean says rather, eBay sold prices minus 10%, minus another 5%. I guess I don't know, Manny. I guess when I sell Manny something, I'm gonna sell it to him for eBay prices now.
Yeah, I think the groups are by collectors for collectors. So if you're not there to help out someone, just don't comment or post anything. Now, I'm not saying like, well, I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
The other side to it is when you go on those groups, usually you can get a sale pretty quickly if you price it right. So there is a benefit to the seller utilizing those groups versus eBay because you can make money like real quick. Like I've sold figures on there 10, 15 minutes after I've listed them and for pretty close to market. So
yeah,
cutting
I don't
a
know.
deal
I'm
is
just
beneficial.
notoriously like I always give people deals. Like Dean can attest to that. Like I'd rather someone get a figure that I own that I've enjoyed and I don't lose a lot of money. They get a deal. Everyone's happy. I can buy something else that I need. I don't know. I guess that's just the way I feel about buying and selling Hot Toys. Like, I mean, if that's, other people's prerogative is to like make their money. I mean, I guess, but for me personally, like we never created Ox or like these smaller like 1/6 San Antonio groups for people to rake in cash on the secondary market. We always created them for people to make deals and for both parties to feel like they won.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was grinds my gears this week. Gerald says, "Can you give me a deal, Zach?" No. Austin says, "Are you all Hot Toys collectors?" We are. Steven Kretz says, "Zach is selfless." What a guy! Look at that. What a guy.
He's not though.
I am very selfless. I'm always looking. Look at that. Danny Lee says, "Okay, so a figure goes for 500 on eBay. What would be a good group BST price be for that?" I personally feel like you should just price things at retail, maybe a little bit extra, retail plus shipping. That's how I personally always feel. If I was to sell Dean my Mark 46, I would sell it to him for retail plus what I paid for the person that, like retail, I think that's a good price. Like, I'm not gonna rip off my friends and charge Dean $800 for fucking.
But we're also friends.
Yeah, the only counter is that guy could then go out and sell it for $150 more than what you.
Yeah,
sold
but
it to him for.
that's their prerogative. Though, like once it's out of my collection, I'm not gonna like phone the guy up and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I mean, it's a douchey thing to do. I've seen people call out other people for doing that, but I personally am not worried about that.
Yeah,
because once it's out of my collection, like, what am I gonna do? Like, call the internet police? You know?
No.
Fernando says, "What up? I joined late."
So you heard it here, guys. Buy from Zach and then sell it.
I guess so. I should sell my Mark 46s for sale for $1,000. I agree. I only list a figure for more than I want to when I need to factor in shipping prices. Danny Lee says retail is fam bro pricing. Yeah, I mean, I'm perfectly happy. Like, most figures that I get, they're used below retail. I'm not going to charge someone, fucking $400 for a figure I paid $184.
Right.
That's just how I feel. I'm not a bad person. I tend to believe like what goes around comes around. You hook someone up with the deal, it'll come full circle. And like for example, when I got my Mark 46 from Chris, he sold it to me for retail plus shipping.
Right. What an angel.
And
yeah, what was up?
I had Han and Chewie that I was going to sell to pay for that. And at that time, Han and Chewie, you could easily get $600 for them, like no problem. And I sold it to someone that was in one of these smaller podcasting groups for basically $430, which was like retail of the Mark 46 plus shipping, like just enough to cover what I was going to be paying for that figure.
Yeah.
And that's just how I view it. I know that's like kind of a very like I'm a very glass half empty kind of person, but at least as far as like toy sales go, I'm a very glass half full person. Like I want to give people a good deal. Gerald says that he saw that I listed an Anakin for $140 a few months ago. Yeah, I had no problem. I bought that figure for like $170. I had already parted out a bunch of the parts of it and made some money, and so I felt like $140 was a good price for it. And Lynn was happy. I was happy. It was a good deal.
Yeah, I have no problem taking a loss on something. Not a huge loss, mind you.
Yeah.
But it's like I own the figure. I enjoyed it. I got value out of it. Like I don't mind,
Yeah, like if you buy a figure for $200 and you enjoy it for, let's just say, a year, and you sell it for $180, you lost $20.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
That's like you basically enjoyed the figure for like $3 a month.
Right.
Austin has a really good question here. What would you guys Mount Rushmore of Hot Toys figures be, meaning your top 4 Hot Toys? For me, that's a great question. I would say Police Shootout Terminator is an amazing figure. That'd be one of my 4. I would say the other 3, that's a really good question.
Damn, that's a good question.
That's
what about
really
you, TC?
Question.
It will be Hulkbuster will be there, Mark V, K2SO, and this is kind of a shocker to me, but when I got the figure, I thought it was incredible. The Han Solo Stormtrooper disguise. It's
really, that is a surprise.
I just like the fact that I can have a Han Solo that's a Harrison Ford, because they just don't exist. I mean, there's the 2 so far, so those are probably my top.
I was gonna say Harrison or Han Solo, Obi-Wan from A New Hope. That figure is amazing. That sculpt is insanely beautiful. I'm trying to think.
I would say
Anakin.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's
figure.
a great
Dude,
one. Yeah.
Anakin is so flawless. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's finally picking up traction because I've advocated for that figure for like the past how long, Zach? Either one. I was I don't care which one you get. And then Man, I guess R2 because I love R2. And how can you fuck up an R2? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go now. This is just my personal figure that I've had experience with, so nothing on this list
Yeah,
is
those
something
are
that
all
I
ones
hadn't
I've
owned.
owned.
I know people are saying Yondu in the chat, Shore Trooper. I don't have the experience with those. For me personally, my 4 favorite figures that I've ever owned, I have to say TLJ Kylo. It's a perfect figure. The head sculpt is beautiful. It's not the best likeness to Adam Driver, but it's really good. The cape is probably Hot Toys' best cape they've ever made. The boots aren't so great, but they are very accurate to the film. Mark 46 Civil War Iron Man, that figure is perfect. The police shootout T800. And then this is going to be a surprising figure, but I think that far and away the best figure
Ooh.
Hot Toys has ever made, bar none, is the Hot Toys Sand Trooper. It is perfect. They have every single weapon you could ever want. They have the special edition droid that floats on the base. The weathering is flawless. The helmet sculpt is bananas. It is so goddamn good. It is just
I got
like
that figure from you dirt cheap.
you really did. It's a good figure.
It's
I
so
have
good.
never been more impressed with the Hot Toys than owning that figure. It is a
I
perfect figure.
I think that's one of the first figures I got where I was like, okay, I need to focus on A New Hope.
Yeah,
Because you like the A New Hope troopers better than the Rogue One
I do.
troopers.
Yeah. Though I will say the Rogue One armor has been growing on me lately now that I've been messing around with my custom figure.
I just don't like the feel of the Rogue One armor. Even the short trooper's a little what's the word? Not flimsy. I don't want to say flimsy, but the A New Hope stormtroopers just feel like real solid. Like you could almost like snap them in half, whereas these feel like they would bend all the way.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. Like they're soft and they would just crease real ugly. But yeah, that's just how. Because I only own the Rogue One short trooper, but
Yeah.
Zach, you have the actual stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so with the Rogue One Trooper, let me grab it. The one thing that really bothers me about this figure is the thigh armor just does not stay put. Like every day I have to like grab it and pull the stupid armor up. Not only that, but like these little whatever you call the ammo pouches for the whatevers, I just don't like the way that they're on the armor. And the cod piece just feels really awkward and the chest feels a little too broad. I mean, it's a beautiful figure, don't get me wrong. I love the Jedha Patrol Trooper, but it's just not my favorite. Very sentimental figure. I will never sell this, but it's just not my favorite figure. Fernando says DX11 Nightmare Batman, DX13 Days of Future Past Wolverine. Austin says Hot Toys Iron Man diecast Mark 5, 6, 7, and Hulkbuster. Gerald says Han and Chewie, TLJ Kylo, General Grievous, Mark 46. General Grievous is not Hot Toys. But I guess if we're going 6 scale, that makes sense. And Gerald says, yep, I thought that issue was just with my Rogue One Troopers. Great question. Who asked that question?
Sean said Loki from Avengers. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
They
Great question,
knocked that
Austin.
sculpt out of the. Yeah, that was a good question.
I've always wanted a Reeve Superman. My uncle was paralyzed from the neck down, and obviously Christopher Reeves was as well. And sentimental value, I think I've always wanted to own that figure. Big shout out to our Patreons. We have it seems like the list grows every week. Dean, do you want to give these guys a shout out while I'm going through some of these notes here?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out everybody because they're so cool.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Scott Bradley, Ben Porter, Griffin Campbell, Sean Fierce, Sweet Angel, Ian CB. Is that how you say it?
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
Oh, okay, there we go.
CB. Okay. Stephen Percha, Renee Mendez, Dan Lee, my sister Deanie Martin. What an angel. Stephen Kratt. What a
Beautiful
guy.
angel.
Jason Nelson, Big Fern, Eric Ruiz, and Mario Cortez, who is also after my short trooper, apparently.
Dude, everyone is after the short trooper. Mario says his top 4 is TFA Chewie. What a memer. Electro, Terminator Shootout, and Thriller Michael Jackson. I don't know if you're trolling with the Electro, but I know for sure you're trolling with the TFA Chewie. Yeah, so Iron Geek says his top 5. Wait, is there 5 people on Mount Rushmore or 4? I feel like I should know this.
4.
Okay, I was like, I know there's got to be there's not 5.
No, they
his,
haven't put
his
Trump
top,
on there yet.
Oh God. Wow. His top 5 from least to best: in-game Thanos, Adult Groot, Road Worn Thor Mark 50, and quarter scale Mark 45. My all-time favorite figure, even though I own mostly Iron Man. But yeah, big shout out to our patrons. They're keeping the show afloat through this hard times. They're getting some equipment. I think Dean, your boom arm is just failing. This whole show
this
you've
thing
been
is like,
fucking pissing me off this whole show.
yeah.
Yeah, shit sounds like a goddamn C-3PO wanking off. We got to get you a new. We
Wow,
got to
that's
get you a new
quite
boom
the
arm.
visual.
But yeah, big shout out to our patrons. Here's a bit of information on our Patreon tier. So we have a $1 tier, which we probably are going to cancel because no one's doing the $1 one. It seems kind of pointless. Sweet Angel on-screen shout out, Patreon exclusive sticker, Ox After Dark Rewind. $15 tier on-screen shout out, sticker, on-air shout out, Ox After Dark Rewind, a certificate of crispiness, sculpt painted by Darkside Customs, and we will fix a figure of yours that's damaged for free. You just got to pay shipping both ways if the damage is reasonable and fixable. Gerald said he's going to be a Patreon soon. Austin says, what's your Holy Grail Hot Toys figure? Probably my Holy Grail is the Tron Sam Flynn. I missed one on the groups a few weeks ago and I was kind of disappointed, but that's one that I really want. What about you guys? Grail of all time. You got TC.
Probably it's the Hulkbuster. I'm saying that all night. I just like that figure.
I'm so happy
one
for you.
I've always wanted.
Soon.
Yeah. Steven's Collectibles.
Hey, shout out to Steven.
Nice. Yeah.
Dude, you should come visit Steven one day, and then we'll visit you.
Dude, if I ever get sent to Texas for work,
dude, that would be.
I might really do it.
Well, you can visit
everybody, but I haven't been sent there in a while. But we'll see.
Yeah, that would be. So the sticker we have here on display is our June exclusive sticker. It's the new logo in holographic form. We cut off the orders today, so if you're a Patreon as of today, you'll get a sticker. We ordered like a very small amount of extra stickers because you have to buy them in multiples of 10. So if you want one, message me before you sign up, and I'll tell you if we have quantity available. We're also doing a bonus sticker. Dean, let me solo cam myself. It is the After Dark logo in a die cut sticker, and it is dope. This is quickly becoming one of our most popular shows, and I thought it'd be fun to make a sticker for it.
I'm trying to think what my Grail would be. I guess the 46.
Ooh, and it's right there. Big shout out to TC for coming on. He is one of the co-hosts of the Sixth Scale Scavengers podcast. Also, big shout out to your cohorts Brian and Chris. You guys push us to do better every week, and I really enjoy the friendly, I guess like the friendly competition that we have. I think like we're always pushing each other to do better, and we're always on good terms. I think there's been times where I've needed help from Brian, and vice versa, and it's just a really good, like relationship that our teams have. TC, did you want to share a little bit about the show that you guys do, and maybe we can talk a little bit about how you guys produce your show and just chit chat for a little bit.
Yeah. First, thanks for having me on, guys. You guys are great. So Sixth Scale Scavengers, that was founded by Brian Fontaine, Christopher James Letty. Those are the other two co-hosts of the podcast. I joined, and they started up, I believe, about 2 years ago.
Yep.
I joined them last year as the third member of the crew. And we also have one other admin, Roy Visser, does a lot of the background work, a lot of the logos, and a lot of
such a good guy.
Pictures, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He's a great guy too. It's a bunch of good guys. We've got a Facebook group. It's Sixth Scale Scavengers Collectors Facebook group. Anyone's eligible to join. Just answer the questions on the sign up sheet.
Be on your best behavior if you join that group. Don't embarrass me.
Yes, be on your best behavior. But so the podcast, we talk about 1/6 scale hot toys. We're pretty laser focused on that. We might venture out a little bit. I know Chris has his own side collection. He's a Ahsoka Tano super collector. Brian has his own side collections as well, Shore Troopers specifically. But we mainly stick to hot toys. It's our bread and butter. It's what we know. We try and learn with everybody else, but if we can help people along the way, that's one of the main goals. We've really enjoyed getting to know everybody in the group, in the hobby, and it's a really fun time just to chat with friends every couple weeks. So we record Wednesday at 9:30. every other week, and we actually record tomorrow night. So
What a guy. Came on here the night before a show.
I know it's a lot of work, man. No, I'm
Catching
just
up
kidding. It's good.
on the chat, Mario says Mark 4016 hit me up, LOL. Gerald says, Mario, just so you know, bro, I got first dibs on Dean's Short Trooper. I have first dibs on everything Dean sells, just so you know.
That's true. Zach does have first dibs.
Sean Fear says, let me get a clone.
What
Danny
the
Lee
heck?
says,
Why is everyone after my
SSS.
stuff?
Oh, I may or may not have posted this morning, like at 11, that you were selling all your collection. So, Danny Lee says, Sixth Scale Scavengers is a great group and a great podcast. Yeah, you guys have a good show. I mean, how is it coming into our show production versus like how you guys do it? Like, I mean, I feel like it's got to be pretty similar the way that we vet topics and
yeah.
least
So
the vibe that I've gotten from Chris is it's pretty much the same thing.
yeah, pretty much. We'll float ideas. Our shows, I guess, organized a little differently than yours. I
Yeah.
noticed like when we're actually live on air, you cue things real quick. It's a little bit different than Brian. Brian will serve it up a little bit differently. But as far as ideas before the show, we try and find a topic for every show. I like to cover the news, but we also give our collection updates. And really our topics kind of is just focused on trying to give advice. We've made a lot of mistakes as three members of Sixth Scale Scavengers, but we like to share our lessons learned and hopefully give some tips for new collectors. Because really, I mean, within a few years, I mean, Hot Toys is still fairly new. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we haven't been collecting that long. So we're all learning, but at the same time, we have a lot of experience as well. And hopefully we can just share that. So that's what we talk about. Our chat's pretty lively. We tend to go back and forth multiple times a day. We got to keep up with all Brian's buying and selling. It's
I know.
Oh man,
He's a
did that out
busy
of
boy.
control.
But yeah, it's fun. So we enjoy it a lot, and it's just great to talk with each other. I know that's probably how you guys feel. Every week, you guys get to come on the air and chat what you love.
So you mentioned that. Wait, what's going on, Dean?
Oh, Manny asked the question and totally reminded me. I did get something new this week.
What'd you get?
Black Series Commander Bly.
Nice.
It's really nice. I think it might be the nicest one they've done.
Kevin says Ox and Sixth Scale Scavengers are my two favorite groups apart from my own. Two favorite podcasts. What a guy.
I like going back and forth and seeing who's talking about what. And
Austin
they're just so busy all the time. Both our groups are so constant. Like,
and it's totally different conversations, which is really nice. You can go on each group and get a different perspective on everything. Austin says Optical 20 turned me on to Collecting Weekly. I'm really glad. Thanks, Optical.
Thanks, Austin.
Dude, I don't know how you guys do it. Honestly,
What's that?
with like all the different topics you guys cover. Because I mean, we're just talking about Hot
so
Toys.
You mentioned that I like run through things a little faster. It's because I have to. Like if we spent as long as you guys spend on each thing, should be like 3 hours long, and I don't have 3 hours. I gotta run like if there's
because I could talk forever about
a millisecond of dead air. I'm like, all right, we're moving, keeping the shit to an hour. It's just the way that I'm very fast paced. Like I like to just fucking do it. And
I was about to message you to slow down earlier, but I was like, nah, he's got it.
Dude, I was about to message you to speed up. You were talking super slow. I was like, what is this guy doing? You were like talking slow, and then you kept doing this with your mic, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I don't think you saw the private chat, but I was like,
I did.
Stop. Fernando says, mailman just got here with the package that Manny sent me. Sean Fear says he actually changed his mind. He wants your Robotech collection.
Oh my god.
I'm really sorry. I put it in OSR BST that you were getting out of the hobby. So
my cloud collection, my clones, my Robotech. Jeez.
Yeah. Iron Geek says I like that they're both so laid back and drama free. Yeah, the only drama we have is when Greg gets wild. We have to fucking delete his post. It's all butthurt. Fernando, we got that comment already. So yeah, but you guys have a really good show. I mean, your YouTube is doing very well. I think you guys have almost 800 subs now.
No, we're at 650. So yeah, it's been
pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a steady increase. So we'll get
But I will say this though, you guys have 650, but on your live shows you pull like 50 viewers. And if you look at other shows like Sideshow or any podcast that I follow with any good number of viewers in the hundreds of thousands or like 10,000s, whatever, I mean, they're pulling pretty similar numbers. So I think
It is interesting.
sub count is one thing, but viewer interaction I think is
Yeah.
far more important. I would
Yeah, the
rather have
ratio's good.
yeah,
So
I would rather
like
have
that.
300 really good subs than 1,000 and like just a handful of good subs.
Fair weather
Um,
friends.
Yeah, and you can tell they're loyal. So that's always a good thing. I think both of our podcasts have loyal fans. Because you see the same people with new people as well, but constants. And that's great.
Yeah. Gerald says, Zach, your collection looks so beautiful in the back. Thanks, man. Sean Fierce says, I added 4 new printers this week. Fernando says, if only I can post the mattress GIF here. Sean Yahtzee says, Sixth Scale Scavengers is to Patreon as Ox is to OnlyFans. Dude, what an analogy. What a
fair.
guy. He said Ox gets naughty. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah,
Kevin says, Greg is the same in my group. He doesn't stop posting figures beating up Iron Man and tagging me. I may have to kick him out. Speaking
that
of
sounds like
Kevin,
some shit he would do.
we've talked about Kevin a lot this week. Kevin sent one of the nicest packages I've ever received, and that's not a joke in any way. First off, package came. There's a letter inside sealed with wax. What a guy!
Wow.
Super classy. I'm actually spent an hour looking for wax seals for our Patreon stuff because I was like, dude, that is the classiest
Classy.
thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And inside the package, I had asked him to send me a cast of his cyborg head sculpt, and he sent me one. So I'm
Oh
gonna work
wow,
on
it's
painting
clear.
this. Yeah, I mean there is clear resin.
I know. I just haven't seen it.
He also sent a pressure. I think he said these are pressure casted Thanos head sculpt for Dean, and it's like in a very expressive, angry look. And then
Cool.
additionally, he sent like
I got my
maybe
Thanos right
almost a
here.
dozen. Yeah, bring the Thanos over so I can get an idea of the color because I won't be able to paint it unless I see
Yeah,
it.
I
in
can
the
leave him
can.
there if you want.
No, it's okay. I didn't say I was going to paint it. I just wanted to see the color.
What the hell?
But he sent us like 10 casts, and they were very small imperfections in the cast. He said he was teaching his son to cast, and that's why they had those bubbles in it. And he's like, you can repair them and send them to your Patreon subscribers for supporting your show. And that was a very generous
Wow.
offer that he gave us. So
Yeah, if our Patreonies have a Thanos.
yeah, Kevin, really appreciate that. That is
Dude,
one of
what
the
a sweet
nicest
angel.
things that
I also got a care package this week.
Oh yeah, from Kevin as well?
No, from sweet Danny Lee.
Oh yeah, tell
If
us about
anyone's
that.
gonna get my Robotech collection, it's Danny Lee then.
Wow.
Is Danny Lee Dan Lee?
Yes.
Okay.
I had the
call
same
him
question and they made me feel stupid for it.
Because I thought you guys said there were 2 Danny Lees. One
No,
episode.
we
I think
thought
at one
there
point
was.
we thought there was.
Okay.
Zach found out that it was the same guy, and then I was left in the lurch.
By the way, Dan Lee with a major hookup for me with the Battling
Oh.
Captain America for a really good price a long time ago, about like 2 months ago. Love the
Dan
figure.
Lee
Thank you,
with
Dan Lee.
the big knife in the back selling Maleficent to Greg, not even asking me if I needed it.
Dude,
before he
Dan Lee
sold
is
it.
just a gift to this earth and his fellow collectors. What an angel. Yeah, if some of you may know, I was looking for a 6th scale gun, and I put it on the group on Ox.
Almost got Ox shut down.
Yeah, we almost got shut down because they tore down my post. They're like, this is against community guidelines. You're selling a firearm. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm looking for a toy. Like, it has a ruler on there. I put the scale, wasn't enough. So Dan Lee messaged me. He's like, hey, what was the gun you were looking for? So I sent him a picture, and he was like, dude, I have one. And he sent me a picture, and he had a bunch of like other stuff like knee pads, tactical belts, pouches, which I love because I like to like kit bash. This is like an Imperial girl. And I was like, dude, like whatever you want to send me, I was like, I'll pay you like whatever you want, like because I need all that stuff. He sent me like a full-on arsenal. Like I was like, I can't post pictures because I'll get taken down, but holy shit, like this freaking sniper is like 50 cal sniper rifle in there. Like is amazing. Thank you,
showing
Danny.
that on the group. We're gonna get banned from YouTube next.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we get banned for this, like, fuck, dude, like, it's clearly not a real gun. So, but
Stop
yeah, what
saying
an
that
angel,
word.
man. What a
Sean
good guy.
Fear says, Dean, what is up with your project?
Okay, the outfit got shipped a few days ago, so I should get it soon.
From China?
No, Big Bad Toy Store.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, so it should definitely be here.
Can we tell them what you're making? Please.
If you really want to.
Dean is making a 6 scale Kevin Hart, and I'm so excited.
No.
It's actually it actually is just a 1-to-1 scale Kevin Hart that fits in a
It's
decaf.
really I'm probably the only person that wants to do this.
Wait, should we tell them? I think we should tell them.
I have the sculpts in my hands.
Yes, show
I'm
them.
gonna
Wait, hang
tell
on. Let me solo cam you real quick, and I'll just shut up and let you talk.
Shout out Baby Yoda, he's right there. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of this guy. I've never seen anything like this. So Sean and I got together months ago to work on this, and he did the sculpts. He shipped them to Ian. Ian was nice enough to paint them. So only a handful of people know about this, but it'll be done this week. I'm making a 6 scale PewDiePie. He's got his headphones, his like patented design. So with headphones, without, I don't know. I just thought it'd be really cool. So I think I'm like the only person doing this. So it should be done this week, and then I'll post it to a subreddit and try and get on Lawai. I don't know if any of you guys watch PewDiePie.
Never heard of him.
No.
You've never heard of him?
I've never heard of PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Gerald says that is legit with all caps.
Dude, it looks just like him. I mean,
what does he do?
Are you for real, dude?
I seriously have no idea who that is.
You're such a liar.
I
know you're lying because we talked about it in the chat, you and I personally.
No, I don't know. I thought that was H3. I didn't know that was PewDiePie.
No, you love H3. You would know that's not H3.
Dude, that would be a cool 6 scale. No, that wouldn't actually. The Fupa?
Yeah, just he does commentary and gaming on his channel. So I've just been watching PewDiePie for years, and I was like, you know what? No one's made a PewDiePie like figure, much less a 6 scale. So I've like tried to find the outfit that looked cool. Zach helped me out. I got the shoes. Currently, he's wearing a 6 Scale Scavengers shirt. And then he's got his Yeezys apparently, but I was like, hey, the 6 Scale Scavengers shirt will look cool. So
it really annoyed me that you wanted to make a PewDiePie. It annoys me that you wanted to make a PewDiePie and spend all this time, effort, and energy making it, but you don't want to make your own head sculpt in 6 scale. That really annoyed me.
Okay, that was like way later.
No,
I've been working on this a long time.
Really,
speaking of sculpts, I saw that. I saw your sculpt, Zach, on that Black Panther figure.
Oh yeah, it was the Zach Panther actually.
The Zach Panther.
And then
that's
my
right.
Terminator I'll be Zach, and then my Kylo Ren, and then my Ironmonger. I was so bored, and we were drinking. And I was like, let's just put this head sculpt on everything. It was so fun. So fun.
Maybe I'll do that soon.
Anyways, so let's talk about what's going on our network this week. So, oh my God,
holy shit.
You were dicking around enough, and that's what happened. What happened? You break your desk?
No, it just fell off. I can't reach it.
Jesus Christ, team. Recording 8:30 tonight. This is our show, and we really appreciate it. We'll be back again next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This Thursday, Small Talk is recording at 8 o'clock p.m. After Dark. Everyone always asks every week when After Dark is coming back. It's recording at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time this Friday, so do not miss it. And then Live and Let Dice is recording Sunday at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. TC, you guys are also recording Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's right. Actually, I think I said 9:30. It's actually 9. It's 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Yeah. So definitely, if you want to check out their show, check out their YouTube channel. It's Sixth Scale Scavengers, and they host a great show. Apparently, it's a little slower than this show. Excuse me, Mr. TC. But they do a really good show. Brian and Chris and TC, they have very interesting perspectives on things, and you'll probably hear them talk about some of the things that we talked about today and give their beautiful perspectives. We're total fanboys. We really are. Hot Toys fanboys.
We hate everything. But that's the beauty of our show. We're not too positive, and I think it's good for the community to have a positive show and then a negative show. That just, it just kind of like a yin and a yang.
Yeah, balances the force.
Anyways, do you guys have any shout outs you want to give tonight, Dean?
I was just gonna shout out Danny Lee because he's such a sweet angel, and TC for coming on the show. What a guy!
And for always doing our shout outs at the end of his show. What a guy.
And my mom, she's in the chat.
And your stepdad, Steve.
And
that's
Steve.
Name?
Yeah, she's watching. Steve's watching. Shout out Steve.
Shout out to Steve. TC, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Not to Brian and Chris. Wow.
I'll talk to them tomorrow. They need another shout out.
What a guy. What a guy. Big shout out to Kevin, Iron Geek 37. Check him out on YouTube. He's making some really good stuff. His Manta Noir prototype, I think it's going up for pre-order tomorrow. So we'll have the detail. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. You're like, I don't know if you're doing it on purpose. Or you're
No, I'm
killing me
not.
right now. His Manta Noir is going up for pre-order, I think, this week. So we'll talk about it Tuesday once we get some details. Gerald says, shout out to Zach. Got me leads on a Thrawn project and always making me feel welcome on Ox. Appreciate it, my guy. Shout out to Gerald. He's been a good sport.
Oh
He's been
man,
on the last,
dude. Yeah.
he's been on the last few Ox After Darks. It was 2 a.m. and I was streaming by myself. And he's like, "Yo, let me jump in on the stream if you want some company." And I was falling asleep. So I was like, "Dude, hell yeah." Your mom says Steve is clapping, and Mario says, "Who gave this video a thumbs down?" Come on, yeah, guys.
Wow,
who the hell gives us a thumbs down? I worked in the show for like hours this week. And you're gonna give me a thumbs down because I don't know why. What the f? We get like 2 or 3 thumbs down every week, and you know who it is, Dean. You know who it is.
Yeah.
We know who it is.
Okay, well, one, yes, Gerald is an absolute legend, dude.
Literally Ox After Dark. He has stolen every show he's been on.
Dude, he comes out of nowhere and just like this is my show now, and just owns it.
I'm gonna
and
send.
Also, how dare
Gerald
you didn't message me to help you out on that show? I would have loved to have joined.
I looked at your Facebook, and it said you had not been active for 2 hours, and I did not want to wake you up. It was 2:30 in the morning, and I was like,
I probably was asleep, but you could have at least tried. I would much rather get up and talk to you than sleep.
What a guy! What a guy! What a nice thing to say, Gerald. We're gonna send you an Ox After Dark sticker. I'm gonna send it to your Australian address, so send me that. And yeah, TC, you have a care package coming your way from us, and Kevin,
thank you.
Send me your address. We'll send you one as well. And we also sent one to your cohorts, Brian and Chris. But yeah, that's it for our show. I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
And I'm TC.
And hopefully this is the last show we ever do where we have Dean's boom arm like that, because that shit was wild.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Catch you on the next episode.
Dostoevsky.
What was that?
That's a callback to the... That's a callback to the fucking movie, Justice League.
Oh,
when
explain
the Flash,
that.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I didn't catch that. Explain.
Oh my god. Okay, so the Flash is saving the people, and Superman carries the building.
Oh yes. And then he tells the people, the Russians or whatever.
He doesn't speak Russian.
Okay.
So
I remember that. Yeah.
He just like uses the only Russian word he knows, which is a famous Russian author, Dostoevsky, as bye. So instead of saying bye, as a Dostoevsky.
That's our new send off for forever. That was great. I didn't know what that was. Anyways, chat loved it. We'll catch you guys later. TC, thanks again.
Yeah, no problem.